Hey everyone, welcome to Kayfabe 6. This is Mike. I'm here with Dan, and we're actually talking about and reviewing and analyzing the the WWE Tag Team title situation. We actually missed the pre-show match. We decided to go back and watch it, and wow, that was pretty entertaining.
That was a wicked match. Like that's how you have a kickoff show. That's how you get people to buy WrestleMania.
I think it actually might have been one of the probably arguably the best actual match on the card if you just minus the big names. Like that was pretty entertaining. All the spots were great.
Absolutely, yeah.
Natalia and Naomi involved.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy or Jay getting injured, which I believe turned out to be a real thing.
Yeah.
But man, props to everyone. Like everyone.
No,
had a
that
good
was
spot.
a really the Los Matadors. I'm not a big fan. I wasn't huge on them, but they definitely delivered.
They did, yeah. Kofi and Big E did their thing.
Yeah.
And that was entertaining. So Cesaro and Kid prevail with a little bit of heelish tactics after Jimmy, or is it Jay? I honestly don't know myself. Hit the splash on Big E, and
there was
Cesaro
a blind tag.
Blind tag by Cesaro, chucks him out of the ring and pins Big E in pure heel-like fashion.
Yeah.
I'm obviously ecstatic because my two boys now.
And the crowd does pop for them, right? So
because they're workers, right?
Yeah,
when you're as good workers as those two guys, I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't be getting cheered.
No, it's true. It's just a sign of respect, really, right?
Yeah, for sure. So that brought us over into Monday night, where they continued the storyline, and they had Ascension team up with Cesaro and Kid versus New Day and the Lucha Dragons.
Yep.
And I'm gonna show some humility here. This is actually my first time seeing Kalisto in action. Was on the Raw After Mania. I enjoyed every minute of that guy.
Can you see why I love NXT?
I enjoyed every minute of that guy. His hot run in there was great. That half Hurricanrana he does, where the guy's on his knees and he goes for it, but then just brings the guy's face to the mat.
Yeah, like a face plant. I've never seen that before, actually. That was cool.
And you can tell the commentators were really into it too, like Cole and JBL and Booker. Like they were just enjoying it too. It was a lot of fun. The crowd was into it. The dance is kind of funny because it sort of reminds me of Emma a little like with her silly dance with the arms flailing in the air. Lucha. But it was great.
The crowd went off.
The crowd went off. Yeah,
that was crazy.
I enjoyed that match a lot, and I hope to see more of those two guys in the tag team title scene. That was great. But the one thing I found really surprising was just what they're going to be doing with New Day. I didn't realize on Raw After Mania I noticed the New Day sucks chance.
Yeah, I've noticed they've gotten like the audience has no reaction to them whatsoever. But
it never took off to begin with.
Yeah, the New Day sucks thing just kind of makes it even worse, right?
And Big E's obviously gone off on Twitter.
Yeah, he was like an overly optimistic tweet. We'll pull it up and then we'll read it, but
he was going at all the fans. He's like, I take your claps and I.
Or your jeers and turn it into positive, or it was one of those weird kind of motivational.
No, he did worse than that. He was.
There was another one. Okay, I've seen one.
He did a whole slew actually.
Yeah. Here, pull it up.
I'm gonna pull it up while we're talking about.
No, of course, but yeah, no, it was a really good match, and even then, in the way the storylines work out, like the Lucha Dragons were the ones that basically sent the Ascension packing from NXT, right? So like Ascension had this long run with the belts. And it was the Lucha Dragons that were the ones that beat them, hold on to the belts for a good while, ended up losing them, and then over time WWE started building them up. So superstars, and now they're on the main show, right?
Yeah. So the tweet after Raw, he wrote, "New Day sucks up all your cares and troubles and vomits them into a bucket of hope. No thanks necessary." Then after that, he just started going off. He started writing after what happened on the Raw After Mania. He would write, he wrote, "I choose to clap because I wish to forget the despair I feel waking up in another hotel room in a town whose name I can't recall. I choose to clap because I wish to forget the emptiness that accompanies money and fame." But then he starts going after fans. "I choose to clap to forget the fans who interrupt my meal to tell me to sign a menu for the third cousin's wife.
Oh, wow.
I choose to clap to forget the fans who drag their 5-year-olds to airports at 4 a.m. to meet the wrestlers.
Oh, wow.
And I choose to clap to forget the fans who stop me to tell me." Yeah. So obviously they have to.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely necessary. Like I heard there was supposed to be a much darker faction, but personally for me, like I was excited to see like Big E and Kofi. There's something being done with them because they're good wrestlers.
They are.
Even in the build up, when you see like them with like the choir and like they're like ranting, like they're like preachers, and that was where I lost interest of it. They didn't even have to jump in the ring.
And I think the problem is being who they are, unfortunately, and some of the states that they go to in the States, they're just not going to get face reactions. And that sucks that, it's 2015 and we got to deal with this.
No, of course. Shit. Well, I think even something I read, something I can't really confirm as fact was this whole idea of New Day was coming out was really close to Ferguson situation, where I think they even toned down what the original plan was.
They should have spin them heels.
Because I kept hearing there was supposed to be like a Nation of Domination.
I think a lot of people were hoping for that. A
lot of people like the Black Panther kind of angle, but
the way they built it up with Kofi getting recruited and Biggie getting recruited, it only came off they were going to be heels, and then it turns out they come out singing and clapping, and
the crowd just not enjoying it.
Into it, right?
Well, because it's
just silly. It's just
like WWE has to recognize what their demographic is. Okay, there are kids that watch wrestling, but the vast majority it's adults now. Like their demographic is a lot of the people that grew up watching wrestling that just want to keep watching it.
Yeah, for sure. So I really hope that they just end up turning these guys, because they need to switch now, or just got to break them up because it's not working. I think with Kofi, I enjoy him, but I was just saying while we were watching the match, he's just too spotty for me. Everything with him is a big spot. He's gotten to the point now where the only thing you look forward to is his boom boom thing, and then whatever he's gonna do in the Rumble, like that, and or elimination chamber.
Yeah. No, I think he does like the very similar movesets. He just becomes so good at doing them, and it just looks.
I guess it's just too clean for me. I mean, with him, the last time he had any grit was in that 3-month feud he had with Orton, which elevated him to what he became. But he hasn't. He hasn't had that since, and it just sucks because I look back and how Big E was brought. They brought him on super strong.
Yeah, because wasn't he originally like a bodyguard for Ziggler?
They had him show up. They had him show up on Raw one day and plummet Cena, and he gave him that funny finisher of his, and he was around for a bit before the breakup, but nothing of relevance since, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'm just happy that Cesaro and Kid have the title, and I hope that they get a good run with it. Who would you have as next? Who would you have as their top people to feud with? I wouldn't mind if it actually was a Lucha Dragons.
Yeah, that seems like the route that's going to go, especially because the way the crowd really went behind them. It's really funny seeing the Lucha Dragons in the match, because it's like there's always this, it's hit or miss sometimes when guys get brought up from NXT. Adam Rose, for an example, loved by NXT, and then it was just useless when it came to the main show, right? And it, like, even within the tag team division, we're seeing that where they really did try to do something with Ascension. Personally, for me, I think once they tried to make the Ascension like the Legion of Doom, and it just didn't fly, and then have them squash the New Age Outlaws to come for the hell of it, and just bury them ever since.
And now they're just a regular tag team.
No, exactly.
They took the pinfall on Monday.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It was just pointless. Like I'm hearing something about roster cuts happening, and I have a feeling they're definitely not going to be around.
Yeah, I read a lot of its development right now though. But
I've heard both main.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, whose fault is that? These guys did exactly what they were told. You guys gave them this color scheme. You gave them similar attire. Like, what the hell were you expecting?
Personally, I was expecting the Ascension to become like when Bray set free Harper and Rowan. I was expecting the Ascension to be like the guys for Bray. Have Bray build them up. That would have been the most logical thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Where you have much darker heels that are very similar to that. The Dark Ministry that Undertaker used to have. Very similar in that angle of saying like Bray's at a different level of evil now by having this group called the Ascension. But then it was just terrible ring entrance, terrible.
They were in mockery off the bat.
Yeah,
and they were treated as such by the commentating team. Like they pulled the rug so quick on those guys.
Like they were getting destroyed by the commentary team. And the thing is, if they're trying to build up a tag team, even if they're supposed to be heels, you have to give them credit. You have to give credit to give the credit to anyone that's listening. They were like, oh, look at them beating up these bums and like.
Well, that's what's the part about it. My beef with JBL is always the fact that I can't tell if he's a face or a freaking heel commentator half the time.
Oh yeah,
most of the time he's a heel.
He's usually just talking out of his.
But when he's going after them, I'm just like, this is bad. This guy's supposed to be bigging them up and really selling them, and he crapped on them, and then they even put him in a programmer. He brings out Ron Simmons, and they do that whole thing where they give him the clothesline.
Oh yeah, where all the tag teams are and they're hating on the legends. Like it could have been a cool little legend killer kind of tag team thing, but they buried it before it even.
Yeah.
There was no point to it. Like it was just I don't know.
Well, I don't even care if they're in it or not. I mean, I just hope that we get to see some great matches now. I'm kind of excited to see a Lucha Dragons versus Kid and Cesaro match. I think
Absolutely.
That's an easy show stealer there, which is ironic because Sin Cara hasn't really been much unless he's been on NXT.
Yeah.
Right? So...
Well, considering now it's a new Sin Cara now, right? To some degree.
Yeah, it's the guy that was part of the other tag team, right?
Was it Hunico? Or... Yeah.
So, I mean, I call him Sin Cara Remix.
Yeah.
The great part about him is he's not botching like the original Sin Cara.
Oh man, was it his first entrance where he got clipped off of the rope or whatever when he tried to do the...
You look up Sin Cara botch, there's like a million memes on there. This guy. There's even my favorite meme of Sin Cara is basically just a clock, and every hand on the clock says botch, and he's like, oh, what time is it? You know what I mean? It's just
botch.
It's so bad. And he's on like every single Botchamania. It's just sad. Poor guy.
That's true.
But
yeah, Lucha Dragons, I definitely can see the next guys coming into the mix. At least, and hopefully it'll be a nice little feud, very entertaining matches. Maybe even save it for pay-per-view to some degree.
Yeah.
And then, who knows, maybe where the Usos are going to come back eventually. They're always going to be involved in the tag team mix. I personally, New Day, they have to come back as heels, and it's not going to be anytime soon they'll be involved.
Yeah, they'll have to switch the titles.
I think they transitioned there. Like, I think Monday Night was just a transitioning them out of the main storyline.
Yeah, it's
really going to be all. I can really see Kid and Cesaro versus the Dragons.
I feel bad for them. I feel bad when anyone goes out there and does a gimmick that they're told, and it doesn't work.
And that's the thing, and it goes back to the back where it was, they're all talented wrestlers that are getting buried because of the writing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's something we repeat on a regular basis here, but it's you can't hate the guy so much. It's just he's doing what he's told to do, even though they should have seen this New Day thing not working from long ago. Like it did not have a good reaction from day one.
Yeah, really sad. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Extreme Rules. If they're going to do some sort of gimmick or a multi-tag team match, it'd be pretty cool to see. I wouldn't mind seeing another TLC or any sort of ladder match with the tag team. I think that would be pretty fun. Actually, I was hoping that was going to be that on the pre-show.
That would be really cool. But for me personally, it's you have to have the New Day would have to be involved. Rather it's say if Big E sits this one out for the two high flyers, and then obviously the Usos should be back by then, hopefully, right? Even I would like to see a simple tag match, and then have that as the New Day heel turn.
Yeah, actually, New Day should invoke that demolition rule that they had, where the third guy can tag in or whatever whenever he wants and be a part of the match or whatever.
Oh
switch out when they want.
Yeah,
they should do that with New Day. I think that would get them over as heels pretty quickly too. Especially if they were to take the titles or something, which I don't see happening at all with these guys. They gotta find a niche first. They gotta get some heat either as faces or heels. But right now it's brutal.
No, it's true.
It's bad when you got a crowd chanting, clapping to New Day sucks over and over again. Absolutely. And it was even funny listening to the Raw because Booker T was like trying to not to acknowledge it, saying with Cole, and they're just like, oh my god, listen to the crowd or whatever, and JBL's like, well, any reaction's a good reaction. Like
they're trying to laugh it off or kind of make it sound like it was nothing.
It reminds me almost of when Ziggler faced Sheamus a few years ago, and there was "Let's Go Ziggler" chants, and King gets on the mic and he's like, "Oh, listen to this crowd, let's go Sheamus." It's like that's not what they were saying whatsoever. And I had a flashback of that when the guys were thinking that the crowd was chanting for New Day when they clearly weren't.
Yeah, no, exactly. And even then, it was it kind of sucked for Lucha Dragons that they were kind of brought in to help bring up New Day a little bit. And there was some good spots from the New Day in that match, but it was a Kalisto show. Like Kalisto just...
And that was a great part about watching the match, is that those two guys were getting cheered, mainly Kalisto. And then whenever New Day would get in with the tag, they would cheer for the other side. Like
it was an interesting match in that sense.
Yeah, but that's the Raw After Mania crowd. I'll be curious to see how that carries over into the SmackDown, where I believe we read the splitter that primetime players could have promo on them. We'll have to watch that. But let us know what you guys thought. What you guys thought about the World Tag Team title match or WWE Tag Team title match at WrestleMania, and how you felt about the match on SmackDown, and what you would do with New Day at this point, especially. Let us know your thoughts. Follow us on Twitter under kayfabe6. And as far as YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, and we'll catch you later.
Peace.